Oh
my goodness
gracious, great balls of fire. One of the best feelings in the world is when you finally, after 64 DMs and 5 phone calls, you've decided to finally pull the trigger on wheels for your car. Hopefully with us, you know, not gonna guilt trip you if you didn't, but I definitely will because that's our thing. Anyway, life is good and you're watching that tracking information like a hawk. Finally, they arrive. Wheels and tires mounted, balanced, shipped right there in front of you. Like you didn't even have to do anything. But you noticed something.
That's a little weird.
The tires seem a bit stretched. Throw them on your stock suspension WRX and you wonder why your car now looked like it may have skipped leg day, and you end up cursing the world as you try to decide if you're gonna burn them off or just get coilovers early and slam it on the ground. Either way, there are a ton of rookie mistakes that revolve around tires, and it's way more common than making mistakes when picking out your wheels. So we're here to talk about it. I'm Alex, alex.fi on the picture page, and today we're gonna be talking about those rookie mistakes people make when buying tires. And if you're looking for wheels, tires, or suspension, fitmentindustries.com, you know the drill. And let's get into the good old juicy story / mistakes. There's so many. There's a ton. I've all made them. We've made them, I've made them, we've all made them. One of the biggest mistakes you can make when buying tires is simply sorting by lowest price first and purchasing the first thing you see without actually looking at anything else. Tires are a finicky thing. They have 3 numbers that help decide what size they are: load index numbers and letters, tread designs, compound types, decide what sort of weather the tires can be driven in, and a few other goodies that 95% of the automotive population when picking out their first set of wheels don't actually know or care much about. However, if you don't know what size you're buying, you're likely gonna get either like a super fat setup with a P and an H, or a stretch setup because smaller tires are cheaper. When in doubt, sort by most popular first, as you're likely gonna have a better chance running what others have ran in the past. If you don't wanna do that, and you don't wanna just let the popular take matters into their own hands, here are a few common setups. A 225 on a 40 is good for an 18x8 or for a smaller tire that still looks functional. 245 40s for a trackish style look. For an 18x9, 255 35s look good and will still give you an edge of wheel cover when you're looking at your tire or your wheel rim. 275 35s on an 18x10 also look good. If you prefer doing a stance setup, we did a whole video on how to calculate that. However, when in doubt for stretch setups, on anything above an 8-inch wide, just go 215s or 225s because you can stretch anything with a 215 or a 225. There's a gallery that will show you literally every single wheel and tire spec over any car. You can just go there and double check the sizing before you're actually about to buy something, so you're not surprised when they show up at your door, which is fitmentindustries.com/gallery. Another rookie mistake people make when buying tires is buying a tire solely for looks. Listen, I get it. The R888R is a nasty looking tire. The NT05 and NT01 are definitely a tire that looks like you want to beat up kids on the playground, but you're not going to be able to get to the playground if your car meets a tree because you're going around a corner a little bit too quick in the rain. Buying a tire that is going to match your driving style is what you're going to want to do. If you do in fact need a drag tire, then go get one, son. But it's important that you don't put those on a car you plan on driving all the time. Likewise, for your drift or track day setup, you're not gonna wanna run something super aggressive because it's not gonna help you connect to the actual road. Remember, these are the things that keep all your tote ponies in the right place, which goes into price for tires. There's always a comment below that's like Nang Kangs for life with a Y and a heart. In all honesty, there's going to be plenty of tire brands that will actually get the job done for you that aren't inherently $1 million. And it's not a bad thing either. You just have to understand where the quality of whatever tire you purchase ends. For instance, on the other hand of the spectrum, you have Michelins, which can be a bit more pricey, but they are known for being one of the best tires in the business when it comes down to their Pilot Sport 4S's or Sport Cup 2s. If you're working to dial in your car and you need your tire to perform perfectly, you're gonna need to spend a little bit more change. If you're just looking to shred through tires and just wanna have a decent setup that won't break the bank, that's all right too, and you can do you, boo-boo. Just don't argue with the expensive tire people because then the cheap tire people, and they just all get in a mess. There's plenty of tire snobs out there though, ones that will cry if you don't get the exact tire that they told you to buy and all the reasons why the tires you bought were trash. You don't need those kind of people in your life. But another rookie mistake comes down to when people go into running staggered setups for their wheels and get the wrong staggered tire setup. Here's the situation with that. Staggered setups are finicky because the fronts and the rears are different wheel sizes. Here's an example. a 9-inch wide wheel in the front and a 12-inch wide wheel in the rear, because you like to party. But if you end up buying two 55/35s all the way around, you're not gonna have a very fun time looking at your new wheel setup. Pro tip here, if you're looking to run Staggered Setup, always search by your wheel and tire setup in the rear first. Lots of times when you start with your front setup, which is usually the smaller wheel size out of the two, you have tons of options. But when you're looking for a 12-inch wide wheel in the rear with some 305/30s, your options are gonna pretty much become like 3. Searching by rear first allows you a much better chance at finding a tire that comes in both the width that you need and also the size that you need, and the narrow boy will be there by the time you get to the fronts. Ready for a speed round?
Let's go.
Don't try swapping your OEM tires onto aftermarket wheels. OEM tires have like a 6,000 sidewall height and look just bum. TPMS purchases are becoming more of a standard than an option these days. Some systems on new cars won't actually even work if the TPMS doesn't work. Ford Focus ST owners know that. And if you don't get TPMS when you get new wheels and tires, it's kind of a pain in the butt. 10 out of 10 would recommend buying them so your dash doesn't look like a Christmas tree, unless you're okay with that. But if you've got an old car, a lot of times you don't really need them either. Not all tires are created equal, but not all expensive tires are the best. Go off what you know and the history that you've done. If nothing else, go with what's popular. Not a smart tip here, but we'd rather see you run what others have ran in the past than guess and end up with some like tractor tires, maybe some like 255, 75, 18s. It looked really weird. Alignment is an option, but you'll find most places recommend it after putting on new tires onto the car, since it does technically change the alignment of your vehicle. Understanding compounds and all that fancy stuff can be a bit of a pain. So instead of going into the intricacies of rubber compounds and all that junk, let's just keep it simple for those that are looking to learn fast. Winter tires are the best gift mankind has ever gifted us boys and girls in the north. If you want a tire that will keep you from going somewhere you shouldn't in the wintertime, save up for some good winter tires. Negatives to these bad boys, they don't make good anything else tires. They are very focused to working in the snow, and that's about it. They're expensive, they come in limited sizes, and they don't look very sporty. No, I'm not counting the Pirellis. All seasons are the converse of the tire game. Everyone likes them, they're okay for everything, but aren't inherently fantastic for everything unless you're paying a crazy dollar amount, and even then, you won't be like Ken Block in the sand dunes. Negatives to all seasons are their lack of focused purpose, which means they try to be good at everything but can't nail down perfection in all categories. These have a ton of sizes though, with low profiles that most people end up snagging for their aftermarket wheels. All seasons, always a solid choice. Summer tires are the cool kid on the block and mostly come in big boy sizes and decent profiles and sidewall heights. However, they aren't the best in inclement weather and can have a doozy of a time if they aren't in temperature, even the more expensive ones. In fact, the more expensive ones are sometimes more finicky than the not expensive ones. Not all summer tires stretch too well, so it's important to do your research if you're trying to fit some 215s on a 10 wide with a summer tire like a Michelin or a Toyo, because some of them really just don't like to stretch. And finally, the last rookie mistake we have for you when it comes down to tires is not actually picking them up when you pick up wheels. Now hear me out here. A lot of times people end up picking up their wheels and their tires separately, and this mostly happens when people are trying to test fit wheels before picking up tires, which does inherently make sense. The problem is that when you end up spending quite a bit more if you end up buying the things separately. When tires and wheels get packaged together, it allows you to save money because the margins that companies like us have on them get cut into to give a better deal all in one go, so that you end up spending the money right away. Separating the purchase ends up removing the few extra $100 you would save if you did it together. Also, if you end up with a stretch tire setup and you buy them separately, have you ever seen the look the local tire shop will give you when you show up? They will disown you. They will toss you out like a lukewarm bowl of ramen. They will judge the shit out of you through that visitor window pane of glass they have while you innocently eat the free granola bars. You know what I'm talking about. The random 60-year-old dude at Sears will look at you, look at the tires, and then say, no. Then he's either gonna end up with banged up wheels because they decided to try and fit the stretch tires on there, or you're gonna need to find another shop to install them because they won't even touch it. Guess what? We don't judge. We'll do it for you, buddy. Come on over.
Hang out with us.
However, that doesn't randomly mean purchase your and then just get bunked Fitment. Use the wonderful World Wide Web and check out the gallery so you know what wheels and tires will actually look like on your car before they show up. I swear, if we get another DM because you flunked out on Fitment class, I'm gonna dye my hair white. So what are some rookie mistakes you've made when buying tires? Drop a comment below and let us know. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you're looking for wheels, tires, or suspension, be sure to hit us up at fitmentindustries.com. I'm Alex from Fitment Industries. We will see you later. Peace.